From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we go over the monthly stimulus check that the President, the Democrats in the House, and the Democrats in the Senate all want you to have. We'll be going over all the details, when, how much, and what you need to know. And the breaking news that's all wonderful today. Then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus that heats up this fall. And the fifth stimulus includes another stimulus check but raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits. And then we turn to the thousands of dollars of money you can get right now, and it's landing this very moment. It's a big afternoon. It's a big Tuesday. I got my blue ready. You're ready. Let's get to it right now on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Tuesday Blue here in Southern California, and the sky is blue, I'm blue, and the set is blue. So I'm glad you are joining me. How is the weather where you are? And tell me where you're tuning in from. Jump into the live chat or in the comments right now. Tell me where you are tuning in from and how the weather is. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we'll be going over the breaking news about that fourth stimulus check heating up today, the monthly stimulus check the Democrats are preparing to give you. We'll be going over all the details you need to know about that fourth stimulus check, so go get ready for this extended afternoon's broadcast coming to you from Santa Monica. Then we'll be going over fifth stimulus that heats up this fall with another stimulus check and raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, and similar. Wonderful news and more breaking about that today. And then we'll be going over the thousands of dollars you can get right now. It's exciting, and it's landing this very minute, and we're going to go over all those details. But first, subscribe, because this is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel in the United States. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Next up is Evenings LALATE at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, followed by Overnight's Crypto, our new hit show. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board, so hit that subscribe button right now. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next up, 1 million. Like this video, 3,000 likes. Don't forget to like the video. It helps in the algorithm rankings. And consider becoming a member. Let's get to the details right now. Senate or House, which one do you like? Get ready to vote. And we're going to compare the details of the House bill and the Senate proposal. The House bill and the Senate proposal. Well, the House bill provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal is July to December. Let's look at the monthly payouts. House bill, $1,000 a month. After the first month, $2,000. Senate proposal, an amount unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Oh, yes. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Really, really wonderful from the Senate Democrats. But let's go back to that House bill. Many insiders believe that the pandemic may be over for legislative purposes. That would mean that the House bill would provide 12 months of checks, not pandemic plus 1 year, just 1 year. And that would result in 12 checks over 12 months, which under the House bill from Jalapal, $13,000. Compare that now to this. Okay, if you're in the live chat, get ready to vote right now. Senate or House, which one do you like? Senate or House, tell me which one you like and tell me where you're tuning in from. And how's the weather? All right, let's go over all the other details you need to know about that fourth stimulus check this Tuesday afternoon. Who gets it? Democrats want everyone who got a third stimulus check to get a fourth stimulus check. Yes. So if you are a single individual, make less than $75,000, you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get a fourth stimulus check. Double it. The Democrats want you to have it. If you're a household of 4 or less, the Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, the Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check if you are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, or survivor benefits. There you go. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. Good news there. The fourth stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check, so it does not come out in waves. So don't try to wave at the check, because the check won't wave back at you, and you will feel so insulted. Hi, check. He didn't wave back at me. How rude are you? It's it's not a waveable check. It can't wave at you. Then everything else you need to know, well, the stimulus check is the same amount for adult dependents, minor dependents, and everyone else the Democrats represent. And there you go. When the Democrats represent, the final vote will be by July 4th. That means that the Democrats will be giving the first check in the month of July, for the month of July, in the month of August, for the month of August. And there you go. That is the first of our 3 parts of our fourth stimulus check update of today's video. You can wave that goodbye. It'll wave back to you. Hi, see you at the second part. It's coming up in just a second later in this video, in this extended broadcast. But here's a preview of the second half of this extended afternoon's broadcast. We're going to be going over fifth stimulus, which heats up with another stimulus check, but more importantly, raises your benefits up a lifetime. And we have breaking news about that and the inflationary rate. And what is Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, doing today? Oh, yeah, him. I have all the breaking news on that coming up in a second. But get a pen and paper ready, because we're going to get some money. It's Money Tuesday. No one says Money Tuesday. They say Money Monday, but we're going to say Money Tuesday today. So get that pen and paper ready. I got a lot of money to get you on Tuesday, and it starts right now. Get that pen, paper, or Crayola blue crown ready to match my shirt. I'm going to show you a lot of money to get in this video, so stay to the very end. And we're going to start with rent utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. And it's coming from third stimulus. That's how we do it on this channel. We aren't tracking checks. What day am I going to get a stimulus check? No, we're cashing checks. Under third stimulus, as soon as it passed, I said, yeah, you'll get a $1,400 third stimulus check, but you'll also get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 of money. And viewers have been killing it. You have been killing it. If you're one of those viewers, if you got $100, if you got $100,000, trust me, I've got them both for viewers. Go into the live chat and comment what you got and when you got it, because it inspires me and inspires others. All right, let's go over that big money. And it's money for rent. It's about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. There's money for utilities, mortgage, and homeowners utilities. And where is it? Each of the locations has different eligibility. So if one says no, don't worry, go to the next till you get that yes. And they have their own pots of money. Here you go. You're going to reach out to City Hall, City Housing Authority, County Hall, County Housing Authority, State Hall, State Housing Authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You're not going to say words that they don't know, like stimulus or lobster bake. They say lobster bake? Oh, Mitch's house is down the street. They're not going to know what you're talking about. So you need to use the correct words and don't use stimulus or lobster bake. That's down the street. And there you go. Well, we got more money than that, and that comes from SNAP. You have been killing it. One viewer got $6,000, another viewer got $5,000, one viewer got $7,000. Lynn Glenn got it for herself and her son and her mom. Gail got it. What is SNAP? It is money for your food. It's from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to Department of Agriculture to get this money. It's a fortune. How much? $16,000 for a family of 4 in Hawaii now. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December, automatically nationwide. So go get that. Reach out to SNAP to get that. Reach out to Department of Agriculture to get that money. Look how good we're doing. $16,000 for a family of 4 in Hawaii, and $5,000 approximately for rent. And we are only 9 minutes into this video. We are killing it. But we got more money, and it starts right now. $5,000. It's coming from your state via your federal government. What is this? The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment assistance to no fault of your own due to computer error at the state level. Not your computer. Your computer works fine. They just haven't updated their browser. They're still using Windows 98. You've moved on. Buy Windows 98, wave at Windows 98, it's gone. And the states still use it. So whatever reason that computers don't work, I just said so I'm going to be doing computer jokes all week long. It's time for you to get that money back. And the federal government has ordered the states to return the money back to you. So when? Reach out to your respective state for routing time. How? On the banking account that you have on file. So watch for that check to come. The next pot of money is wonderful. And it's the tax refund money that's coming. Viewers are constantly getting it, whether it's Cod or Michael or Margaret. Viewers every single day. If you're one of the viewers that got that refund check, jump into the live chat. When? In the month of June. How much? How to track it, and where is it landing? Let me go over all the great details. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance in 2020, and you paid $5,000 of your total tax bill, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment assistance. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. How? Direct deposit, if that's what was put on that 2020 return by you, or in the mail. When? The month of June. Can you track? Yes, 70% of the time. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, put your name in, and do a transcript search. It will reveal the 2020 tax return you filed, the taxes you paid on that 2020 tax return, and the refund you're getting back. There you go. Oh boy, that is exciting, great news. Anything better than that? There is. And it's your second of 3 parts of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021, and it starts right now. Where are we? We're currently in the reconciliation process. When are we done? July 4th, the Democrats represent. How many steps? That's coming up late in this video. What are they doing? We learned they're marking up the bill. This is great news. They're marking up the bill, presumably the substantive bill, because that's the harder bill to actually write than the procedural bill. And how about the Democrats? They are all aligned, not maligned, to pass the fourth stimulus, including Joe Manchin. And is there another surprise? There is. The president did it. Biden did it. On Saturday, the president signed into law a wonderful anchor legislation about fourth stimulus that anchors fourth stimulus right to the finish line and no longer requires provisions of fourth stimulus because they're now taken care of by this Biden did it law over the weekend. Signed an international treaty. I'll be going over all that incredible news coming up in just a second. But first, let's go over how we got here. We got here because the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, Leader Schumer confirmed not one but the 3 reports that I have been reporting on this channel. Number 1, the reconciliation process had already begun. Number 2, it's finishing by July 4th. And number 3, it's going to finish with an approval. How do we get to that point with Chuck? From Jalapal. Jalapal had written Chuck a letter saying, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. What are we waiting for, Chuck? Now, more importantly, the letter was co-signed by 12 House Democrats. And not just any 12 House Democrats, part of the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter a week earlier saying, we are going to put monthly fourth stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Oh my goodness, 100 House Democrats? That is a lot of them. It is a lot of them. Can we get better than that? We can. 7 House Democrats then wrote the president directly a letter saying, we're going to put fourth stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package, Mr. President. Oh my goodness, who are they to say that? These are the people who are on the subcommittee of the House that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks in the U.S. Congress in the House of Representatives. Oh my goodness, they are? Have they? Yes, they have written your first stimulus check. Have they? Yes, they have written your second stimulus check in the past. Have they? Yes, they just finished writing your third stimulus check earlier this year that you just got. Well, are they? Yes, they claim they're writing the fourth stimulus check right now. But then, yes, they represent they're also going to be writing your fifth stimulus check in the fall. Oh my goodness. More about that fifth stimulus check coming up later in this video. Well, that is wonderful. Can we top that? We can. And that is the Biden did it revelation on Saturday when the President of the United States surprised everyone by getting a deal done months ahead of time that anchors fourth stimulus right to the finish line. And now you can remove provisions of fourth stimulus about corporate taxes you don't need anymore. Let me explain what happened. It started on a recent Tuesday, weeks earlier, that I have been telling you and tracking this with you because I track a lot of minutia, sometimes a lot of more detail than many would think that needs to be tracked because I think ultimately something's going to come of it, and this something came of it. I had said it was confusing. I need to slow it down. I'm going to do it right now as well. Slow it down. What is this? Well, fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, which is the taxes corporations pay. Pretty simple. Yeah. So the president had said at the time he was worried about raising taxes on corporations in the United States, the corporate tax rate, because he said maybe those corporations will move overseas to where the corporate tax rate will be lower. It's called a race to the bottom, racing to a lower corporate tax rate in another country. So he had an idea, reaching out to G7 countries around the globe to say, let's raise the minimum global tax rate to a higher rate. And they said yes. Ooh, that was good. So then he reached out to his legislators, that's Tuesday ago, and said, if we can get this done, and they have it signed on the dotted line, let's get these G7 countries to sign this in October, November. And then we'll come back and we'll remove the provisions from the fourth stimulus because we no longer need them that govern this. Well, the president surprised everyone. I got the tip off a recent Friday ago. I delivered the breaking news to you on a Saturday when it happened. And last Saturday, it became law. The President of the United States did it. He did it, Biden. He went overseas on his first international trip and had the G7 countries agree to and sign on the dotted line about this global tax rate now. Not in October, November, but now. Anchoring fourth stimulus right to the finish line and now able to remove provisions for fourth stimulus about corporate taxes no longer needed because they're currently in the international treaty, making it easier for the Senate Democrats to pass fourth stimulus. Wow, now that is a wonderful, brilliant, and smart move by the president. Boy, can we get better than that? We can. And it's the third part of your fourth stimulus check update coming up after this commercial break. And the great news about fifth stimulus, with breaking news about that as well, happening just today with Jerome Powell. But first, is there something better than that? Here it is, and it's the volunteers. They're viewers just like you. They embody the true Purple Power spirit. The Purple Power spirit, if you're new to this channel, is helping people get money. I'm not here to just report news. This is not a stimulus psychic channel. This is not the stimulus psychic network. I psychically believe that the stimulus check, I predict, no, we're here to make you money. And we make you money by getting you all this money from third stimulus, fourth stimulus that you're entitled to. And as soon as EIDL was passed last year, I helped people save their businesses, save their homes, and get them $25 million of EIDL. In the fall 2020, they weren't getting the second stimulus because it wasn't passed. So I got them $250,000 of rent. Now the volunteers are embodying that true spirit. They're continuing that by helping you. They're viewers just like you. They're salt of the earth, and they're helping you get rent, mortgage, internet, SNAP. How do you find them? Reach out to the community page. How do you find the community page? Open the description to this video. In the description of this video, you'll see an emoji of a house. It'll say community page. Click that community page link. It'll send you to news.lalate.com/community. You know you're there when you see a picture of some kitty cats. They're not the volunteers. They're just kitty cats. Lower on the page are the volunteers. Reach out to them. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and they'll help you find that money. And I'll be back in 60 seconds with incredible breaking news about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus as well. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LA, direct from Santa Monica, California, this Tuesday afternoon with incredible details still in our third part of our fourth stimulus check update of 2021 in this video. A lot of great details and a lot of breaking news coming up, and we'll be going over fifth stimulus and what Jerome Powell is doing about fifth stimulus as well. A lot of breaking news, so stay with me in this extended broadcast. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news network. Next stop is Evenings LALATE in 2 hours from now. Stay with this video. When it's over, it takes you automatically to Evenings LALATE. Followed by that, by Overnight's Crypto, our new hit show. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. I want you to subscribe and be part of this family. Like this video. 3,000 likes. Every like helps. And consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fifth stimulus starting right now. There's so many breaking news stories about fifth stimulus, so I'm going to try to go through them as quickly and as easily for you as well. Today and tomorrow, the head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, will be testifying on Capitol Hill about inflation. What did everyone say going into these two testimonies today and tomorrow? That Jerome Powell is going to basically say, no change. No change. I'm continuing to have the Federal Reserve support the economy. If inflation goes up, then it goes up, but no change. Now, here's what you need to know is that most Wall Street analysts have been talking about that these hearings are opportunities for him to be grilled and asked a lot of questions repeatedly till he gets worn down. They fully believe that at some point he may get worn down and may confess that really the inflation rate's going to go through the roof. I want you to know that everyone and their sister and brother says the inflation rate's going to go through the roof. He's not saying that because he's not able to say that for a lot of economic policy reasons. So he is trying to avoid that discussion. But if he does slip and say that, expect turmoil, because it will finally be, we've all said that. He finally admitted it. He will admit it at some point this year, but he's not going to admit it now, today or tomorrow, if he stays on script. But here's what you need to know, is that this morning, the consumer price index the PPI was released, producer price index. It sort of mirrored what the consumer price index number did on Thursday. And the consumer price index number was through the roof. It was the highest growth in year to date of price of goods sold. Prices went up higher in 1 year for the consumer price index last Thursday than we had seen in a 30-year movement. It was the highest year-to-date move. This morning, the producer price index number was released, which is another gauge of how much goods cost, and it went through the roof. Highest growth in 1 year. So what does this mean? Everything of what Wall Street's saying, which is inflation is going to go through the roof. It's going to go through the roof and then come down. It's going to be transitory. In fact, analysts were on broadcast news this morning, and I was really surprised. They're basically saying, hey, we are clearly at 4% inflation right now. We're maybe higher than 4%. Maybe we're at 5% inflation. And then we're going to go even higher. And then we're going to come down. So it looks very mainstream, no longer fringe, that we could hit that transitory or temporary spike of inflation, 10%, later this year. This is everything for fifth stimulus because they're going to tie your benefits to inflation. And that benchmark, I'll explain in 1 second of why that 10% inflationary rate from where we are now, about 4 to 5%, is critical and wonderful for you, for your benefits. That's coming up in a second. Next, inflation stimulus checks, yes. So fifth stimulus will have another round of stimulus checks those 7 Democrats in the House represent. When? Viewers have been asking me about this. I think it'll be 2022 is when these checks will go out. Fourth stimulus this year. Fifth stimulus goes to a vote and finality about October, November of this year. They're not going to get a stimulus check out during the holidays in the weeks of late December. We already saw the problems of getting checks out during the holiday weeks. So I expect them to say this would be a check that goes out in January. So there you go. Fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus for next year's stimulus check. Finally, the great news is that the president has dedicated $1 billion of his budget to the Social Security Administration benefit system to ensure you get all checks of any nature going forward on time and no longer delayed or backlogged. Wonderful news. In advance of fourth stimulus check going to people on benefits. In advance of fifth stimulus checks going to people on benefits. In advance of the fifth stimulus raising of your benefits going to people on benefits. I did more than enough videos that I could ever care to do again, because I really rather not ever do them again, about your Direct Express card by Comerica not doing what they're supposed to do while everyone else's card was sending the money out on time for the third stimulus check in the spring. Every week there was a problem with the Direct Express by Comerica card. And this is tried to alleviate all these problems so that people on benefits get their check like everyone not on benefits on time. And there you go. So now let's go to fifth stimulus and understand how this benefit lift works in view of this raising inflationary rate that has now really become a mainstream story. First, they'll raise your benefits, then they'll remove the asset limits, add the inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over what that means. First, they'll raise your benefits up one time under fifth stimulus. This is if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or multiple benefits. Then they'll apply the benchmark. If the benchmark peaks, if that inflation rate peaks in December is what you have to hope, or November, because as you just heard earlier in this podcast, we're at 4%, we're going up, we could be hitting 10%. You want to hit right when they apply that benchmark in like November, December, because then the inflation rate is going to go back down to something normal next year, like 2 or 3%. If this happens, this is what's going to happen. They'll raise your benefits up, then they'll apply the benchmark. You'll go up 10%, but not just next year. Lifetime, because the way the benchmark works is once you step up, you never step down. So the inflation rate next year is 1%. You're still at 10% plus 1% next year. It's wonderful news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap that prevents you from having more than $3,000 in hand just in time to get those stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to remove the income cap that prevents you from working, getting rid of a 1960s law. Now you'll be able to work and stay on benefits if you want to. And then they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear the loss of benefits. Viewers like Sandy and Rob will be able to marry and no longer fear the marriage penalty. And there you go. That is fifth stimulus. But there's a lot of other money in fifth stimulus besides that. There's a lot of other money in fourth stimulus, and there's a lot of other money in third stimulus. That's why viewers are getting $4, $5, $6, $10, $20,000 from third stimulus. And if you haven't, then consider becoming a member. People in the live chat that have Hawks next to their names are members. To become a member, you click the membership link at the top of the chat or in the pinned comments or under the description of the video. By becoming a member, you're delivered from me daily a breakdown of everything that's in third stimulus for you to get, and everything that's in fourth and fifth stimulus that they're proposing to give you. A lot of this money is application based, so you need to apply for it. It's not automatic, and it's tens of thousands of dollars in many cases. Which brings us now back to fourth stimulus. What are the other details you need to know about fourth stimulus? 1, 2, 3, 4 other items going into this third part of the fourth stimulus update. First, we're going to go over routing time. Second, a personal message from me. Third, fake narratives, and finally, fourth, purple power. First, a personal message from me. It's important to note that fourth stimulus is a legislative effort. And for some reason, people think legislative efforts this time around is different than legislative efforts in last year. It's still the legislature. They still make changes. So at no time should any viewer or any host think that this is the psychic stimulus network with Mr. Cleo. No, we're not predicting the future because the future is unpredictable. It's important to understand that legislators can modify anything in a heartbeat. Here's an example. House Democrats can put monthly stimulus checks in there, send it to the vote-a-rama, and the senators can get that monthly stimulus checks in their hands saying, nope, we're going to reduce it down to one check. Or they can do the reverse. Democrats in the House can have one check and they can send it to the Senate and they can put in monthly stimulus checks, or they can change the amount. So it's not a time or place to be thinking that this is a psychic event, that we can predict the future. I say, I don't say, I think. What do you believe? What do you think? What do you guess? What do you know? No one knows until it's done. That's why you have 2 emojis for this. Not bill yet and not law yet. Let's now go over the routing times so that you understand how things can get modified over 9 steps. Pay attention to step number 5, 7, and 8. Those are the critical steps where things get modified. Step 1, the House subcommittee votes on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the President signs the procedural bill into law. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to go get the tow hitch, the substantive bill. Step 5, that important step 5. The House subcommittee calls a vote in the House subcommittee about the substantive bill, which they have been marking up, we heard earlier in this video. At that point, that House subcommittee can put those monthly stimulus checks in there. At that point, it then goes to the House floor for the substantive vote. Steps 7 and 8, there you go. Those 2 critical steps. That is the 2-day vote-a-rama in the Senate, at which the senators receive whatever the House bill has in there. So, 3 possibilities. 1, There's no stimulus checks in there from the House. The senators can amend and add them in there. Second possibility, there are stimulus checks in there, and the senators are happy with them. They leave it alone. They don't amend. Or step three, there are stimulus checks in there from the House, and the senators don't like something about it, so they amend. And then step 9, the president signs it into law. And there you go. Those are the 9 steps of the vote-a-rama. The vote-a-rama, the substantive bill, the procedural bill, the entire reconciliation process, the 9 steps of the reconciliation process, point A to point Z. Some viewers have been asking me to hear some Q&A. Some viewers have been asking me, when do they start step 1? Haven't called the very first vote yet, but they're currently marking up the legislation. They can do these 9 votes very quickly if they want to. It's ultimately their determination whether they want to do 4 votes, call a week off, then come back and then do the second vote, the second 5 steps, or they want to just swarm through them right together. So it's ultimately their determination. POs have also been asking, when will we see the Senate amount, not to the final 2 days of the vote-a-rama. Next, fake narratives. The fake narratives on Monday sort of went away, so I was happy. Let's see if the fake narratives stay away. What were the fake narratives? Problem creators, protagonista, Mitt Romney. These people were trying to say that they were somehow negotiated on behalf of no one, or someone. It was no one. They were negotiating on behalf of no one. About something that no one was agreeing to. And what were they doing? Trying to advance their political career. We didn't see much of the fake narrative on Monday, so I'm good. Maybe today we will end today without hearing much about the fake narrative. What's the fake narrative? It's Democrats or Republicans who are trying to advance themselves politically or get a book deal or get campaign donations by looking like they're doing something about forced stimulus when they're doing much of nothing but grandstanding. So far good. I will see if there's anything else I have to neutralize in the false stories out there. Next, the president has said he wants stimulus checks to go to you. The House Democrats have said they want the stimulus checks to go to you. And the Senate Democrats have said they want the stimulus checks to go to you. You will not hear stimulus checks from the people who are not giving it to you. So you will not hear stimulus checks from the GOP or conservative media. Finally, the important thing, which is Pearl Power Push. A second ago, I just talked about the stimulus check network. This is not that. In fact, no place should be the stimulus check network. When we talk about legislation, I don't care what legislation is. There's no psychicness of, there's no psychic reading of legislative efforts. Either they do something or they don't. It's not bill yet. It's not a law yet. We have 2 emojis for us. It's important for you to push. What are you pushing for? Because legislators may get cold feet, may change their mind, or may say, I haven't heard from my electorate. Maybe they don't think they need this. What's important for you to know is that when you were doing third stimulus and you were pushing because you needed it and they knew you needed it. Now, when we're doing fourth stimulus, you're pushing because you need it, but they, on the other hand, may be not sitting in their offices unsure whether you need it or not. The economy is different now, and so they really need to hear from you. Do you need this? And that's why you need to push. What is pushing? Sharing this video on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, tagging your elected officials, not tagging me. I'm not voting for you, but you can include me in the tagging. But don't just only tag me because I'm not voting on the bill. You want to tag your Democratic senators, your Democratic House members, and if you don't have any Democrats in your state, then tag members from other states. If you don't use social media, don't worry. Use the old-fashioned item. The telephone. Yeah, that thing in the corner near the kitchen with a cord coming out. I'm dating myself. Yeah, remember that telephone that had a cord? You know, they picked it up and it has a big thing there. Hello? Yeah. It's an old comedy routine. Yeah, that thing. You can use the telephone. Pick them up and call them and speak to their congressional staff. Their congressional staffs are not that big. They have less than 50 people in a room in the congressional staff in D.C. They hear when 3 or 4 different sets of people call them in a few days saying, are you going to put those monthly stimulus checks? I think you need. This is why I think you need to put the monthly stimulus checks. Be very professional and be very explanatory of why you think it's needed, because this is the situation. It's very important in the context of that to understand what Jerome Powell's thinking is today. Going into today's congressional hearings, Jerome Powell's position is, He doesn't want to change the support of the U.S. economy from the Federal Reserve being in place since last year, because people are not fully restored. People who are low income are still struggling. A lot of them are not back to work, or they're highly piled on with debt. And until that problem is solved, they need assistance. The people who talk about not wanting you to have stimulus check are rich people. They are back to life. They're driving their Maseratis, and they're particularly fine. And Jim Cramer this morning said the only people having a cow about the inflation rate are rich people, because they're worried their assets are going down. No one's worried about a spike of inflation short term for low-income people, because the problem is that low-income people need more assistance. They need more assistance to we're out of the pandemic. And that's why it's important for you to go on social media to make very clear, whether you're low income, whether you're middle class, you're struggling, and these are the struggles you need to get through. And so tag your elected officials. And with that, I look forward to seeing you next on Evenings LA. So make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record for a reason. This channel has heart, you have heart, we continue to push, and together we're a family. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Evenings LA. Stay on this video, it'll take you automatically there. It's coming up at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.